on this computer. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it's been, I think it's been 2 weeks since we've done one of these things. I feel like it's been a while, but we hope not to miss it. And in the future, even though I will be traveling, we will still have the team coming up and presenting on topics. For those that are new to the team, welcome. I see so many new faces. We are going over a bunch of things that, we've talked about in the year prior, what's NVDM all about? What's our mission? Why do we have an elite team? You guys getting to know all the coaches. I think a lot of you don't know all the coaches. So we're kind of doing an end of season recap a little bit, and then looking towards 2023, getting any questions you guys may have answered this weekend and next weekend. And then when I am in South Africa, we're going to be focusing the coaches on just bringing topics to educate. We always say, why do we do these Zoom calls every Sunday? And it's number one, it's to bring the team together. One of our big missions is fostering community in NVDM coaching. And with so many athletes from all over the world now, this is an opportunity for you all to see each other. So we appreciate that you have your cameras on so that we can all see you. It does make us feel like we're part of something bigger, and that's what we're looking for. But then also to educate you guys. I think a lot of our success is you guys showing up for the workouts, getting excited about the training, but really understanding what you're doing and why, and where is its place in the training cycle, as well as how is it going to better prepare you, not only for your races, but as a long-term athlete. And so we're going to continue to bring that education your way, but also we're relying on you guys to ask us questions. And so as you have questions through the season, through the week, please send that to your coach and say, hey, this would be really great for us to learn about, and we can talk about it on a bigger scale. Because some of you I know don't know which questions to ask, where a topic may come up and go, oh, that was really helpful. I needed to hear that. So with that being said, with many topics to go, we don't go longer than 30 minutes. I recorded and we'll send it out after. I am going to start with the fact that our team store is opening this week. It's open for a week. So it's through Ownway, and that's our custom kits. And how that works is we just ordered the long sleeves and singlets about, I think, 2 months ago. Now they're all arriving or getting shipped out. It obviously takes 8 to 12 weeks for those to come to you. And so we're opening right now for all the athletes that are current to get kits in time for early season next year. But because the team is growing so quickly, what we are going to do is we are going to open the store every 2 months through the season. However, not open all the items. This order right now coming up, all the items will be available, from sports bras to all the cycling gear and everything else. If you're wanting any of those like specialty items, you want to order now. And then when we get into January, February, it's just mostly going to be cycling kits, kind of the key items that get picked up, cycling kits and triathlon kits, knowing that it's going to take about 12 weeks for the items to get you. So if you're looking for anything in April, you do want to order that now. And so we will have some updated sponsor logos on those kits, and we will speak about that a little further on. Before we get started, actually, moving on, I wanted all the coaches, so you guys all got to meet all the coaches, to kind of share a big takeaway from 2023 that they either received as a coach or learned as a coach or as an athlete. And so each of them are going to go around and share something that one of you guys might pick up and find really useful for the future. So Coach Alice, do you have anything? I'm kind of going around the square, so if I'm calling on you, that's how
I thought I might be first for some reason.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Alice, for those who don't know me. I think we talk about this almost every Zoom call, but I think it deserves to be repeated. Just the importance of getting a routine with your training and making it kind of part of your everyday life. And that way you get to enjoy it more. You know it's coming. You also can plan ahead. I think that's also important with the routine. And with that comes obviously communicating with your coach. So like if you know you're going to be away for a weekend, you can plan that you can maybe shift things around early, anything like that. So communication and getting a routine with everything you're doing, I think, are just key, both as an athlete and as a coach.
Awesome. Perfect. And I'm going to go on to Alice is in Boston, you guys.
Yeah.
So when you guys speak, no, it's all good. I never kind of laid the foundation here. When you guys do speak. Let us know where you're from, and then present on your topic. So Parker, you are next.
Yeah, so I guess what I wanted to say today is, my name is Parker. I am currently in Kansas. Currently in Kansas. No, but what I wanted to say today is that it's important, it's easy to focus on kind of like the small stuff, and I think it's important to kind of take a look at the bigger picture, especially during this off season when you don't have too many events going on. You can kind of just get lost in the everyday, kind of like, why am I training for this? You get boring. And I think just having just taking a minute to like kind of step back and taking a look at all you've accomplished this past year and how like well you've done and how much you've progressed. I think that can really help motivate you during this off season when you don't have too much stuff going on. What kind of brought this about is actually I saw some of our athletes posting their kind of end of the year recap race videos, and I've been kind of making my own. And you can kind of like, just if you focus on like the last race you had, maybe you didn't do so well, like all this triathlon stuff, maybe I'm not cut out for it. But if you take a step back and you take a look at kind of everything you've done and how much you've accomplished, I mean, I think no one here can say like, oh, wow, I really haven't done anything this year. I think every one of us has progressed and gotten better. And I think being able to look at the bigger picture, and not just focus on one or two races that may not have gone as well, and just kind of having that positive outlook and always looking forward to the next season and how you can improve and what you can do better. Now's the time. We don't have too many races. You can kind of dial in on those kind of smaller things that you may not have time for during like when it's like in season. You got so much stuff going on. I think that's very important and something you can definitely do right now, which could help in the next year to come.
Awesome. Perfect. I appreciate you sharing that. We had a lot of people racing a 5K today, and all of them, like almost everyone, PR'd their 5K. And, you get through the season and you're preparing for the races, and as you said, you're not seeing kind of the day-to-day progression because they're such small gains, right? But then you go back and you look and you did a 5K, and now you're like a whole minute or 2 minutes faster than last year. And you're like, wow, I did that in an entire year. So just for one example. So thanks for sharing that, Parker. Coach Mike, you are next.
Yeah, so I'm Coach Mike. I'm in Waco. I would say, so the biggest kind of takeaway I got from the athletes who had success this year is communication. That's a huge piece of this, and obviously, for those lucky enough to live in Austin, you get to see your coach or some of the coaches multiple times a week, and that's great. But that's not realistic for most of our athletes who do this remotely. So being remotely and the fact that we're doing this through Training Peaks, through comments, through email and Zoom and stuff like that, like communication is the key. The athletes I have who are successful, they go in, they put their schedule in, they send me notes about when they're going to be available, when they're not going to be available, so that I can go in and adjust their training schedule days, weeks, months in advance. And so we can plan for all of that stuff that is life. So if I have one major takeaway for everybody is if you don't think you're communicating enough, then you probably aren't. And if you think you're over communicating, then you're probably doing the right amount. So communication going into 2023 will be key.
Yeah, I can't state that enough. It's hard for us to really get engaged with your journey when we're not hearing from you at all. When you guys are really kind of immersed in the process and your progress, it's really exciting to go in and to check all your workouts and to make sure to really dial things in for you. Letting us know in the holiday time specifically, a lot of you are traveling, a lot of you might have more time to train because you may be taking a holiday break. We need to know that. Do you have those things coming up that we can take advantage of, or we need to let slide? And let us know now. Put it in Training Peaks. That's honestly the easiest thing. Put it in Training Peaks with the dates that you can do things. I have athletes that are traveling where they can only basically run for like a period of time. It's in Training Peaks, blocked out, availability run. And some of them maybe can only designate an hour a day. Me knowing that can allow me to plan ahead, because with that, knowing we're not going to swim and bike, I put them through a bike swim block prior to that. So if I'm only finding out you're going on a trip like the day before, well, we misused maybe some time ahead of prior to that. And now we're going into a run block essentially because that's all you can do. So another thing, please, all of you, write down what races you're doing. I'm now emailing all my athletes. When I don't see a race on your schedule, it's very hard for me to plan. And we do plan. We go through and we create like a macro schedule all the way to your A races, your B races, your C races. So if you can go in and put that in Training Peaks, don't just email us, put it in Training Peaks. That would really help us. And if there's some are a priority over the others, right there, Texas A race or this B race, that is very, very helpful. And then just to err on, we've been doing something recently on the comments, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago, going to each session saying, what is your focus? What are you trying to really improve? After the session, what went well, or what clicked for you? And then what you feel like you can do better next time. A lot of my athletes have been writing it in that order. And honestly, there's a lot of being uncovered from that. And I just feel like, again, it drives so much more attention into every single session doing that way. And if you don't know how to comment, please ask your coaches and we'll help you with that. Okay. Next person, let's see. I see Coach Harold.
Hello, everybody. Coach Harold. I am in Austin, and I am the strength coach, as well as doing some coaching triathletes as well. And being the strength coach, I wanted to touch on that just a little bit. With this team and the way Natasha has built this up, I'm pleasantly surprised at how many of you all have bought into the strength training side of things. This is refreshing for me. It's probably the most buy-in in terms of strength training for any team that I've ever worked with or any group of athletes that I've ever been involved with. So seeing the benefits from that, speaking specifically to the people who have bought into the strength training and who are doing it on a regular basis as part of their training, as an accessory to their main training, but still a part of their training, and seeing the benefits from that is quite awesome, to be honest with you guys. So a lot of you who are probably on this call tried it for the first time this year or really gave it a go and did it consistently and got some of the benefits from it. Some of you are maybe still a little bit hesitant, but I'm probably going to get you to buy in and try it sometime next year. And those of you who are doing it on a regular basis are benefiting from it and see the value in it. So I think that's trickling down to those other athletes around who are maybe a little more hesitant to give it a full go in the gym with some strength training. So you're looking around at the athletes around you on this team and seeing how they're benefiting from it. And it's convincing you eventually to give it a try as well. So I think that's awesome. And that's my contribution to all the athletes and seeing them have success this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Guys, my 30-second testimonial is I've raced professionally for 12 years. I did Harold strength training for the last season. It was the first year in my career that my back didn't hurt. You know, we had a lot of people that had back issues at Ironman Arizona, and you have to ask them, how was your strength training leading up before you decide to pick apart your bike fit and pick apart your training? Was the strength training there? And along with that, we're noticing a lot of people having tight hips and mobility issues and stuff like that. That is all tied in together. If you're having that issue, you need to know it and you need to be addressing it. And talking to Coach Harold, he's actually gotten with a lot of people recently about just some extra exercises they can do for their hips, for example, which typically leads to a tight back. But outside of no pain, my body didn't shut down. You know, at the end of a dreaded Ironman where you want to go and you can't because literally your body is shutting down on you. That was the first Ironman where I was running really strong the final few miles of the race. And that was purely the difference was strength training. Okay. Next person, Katie.
Hold on. Okay, so mine actually have kind of been talked about too, but I think the big things for the athletes that I saw the biggest like successes and biggest progression over the year was communication and then intentionality, like not going into a workout just to get it finished. Like that's a big thing. Like I want to know like where your mindset was going into the workout. What is your goal for the end? Like let's start with the end in mind. And then communicating that to me, like, hey, this is where I started for the workout. This is how the workout went, and this is where I ended. So then we can trace back and make sure that what we were going in with is what we came up with. So yeah, communication and then intentionality. And with that too, like a positive mindset Like my athletes who, I mean, yes, we have hard workouts and yes, we have hard days, and there's times to have that, self-reflection, and we have to be honest with our performance, of course, but the positive mindset of, okay, so I didn't do this well today, but I have another chance to attack it next week in a similar workout, and I'm going to approach it better this way. It was like huge gains for those people going in. Like, this was hard last week, it was better this week. And so for me, really the mindset that athletes have going in with the end in mind has been like, those are the ones that I'm just seeing the biggest progress with throughout the year.
Awesome. That's so good, Katie. Yeah, guys, if you ever have a bad workout, you shouldn't just be upset about it. You should use it as a positive of why. And this is a perfect learning opportunity. And I can tell you my worst races, my worst workouts were the best because I learned the most from them. There was something that fell through that I did not do. And we have built-in forgetters. You have to journal it down. What did you do so well to make that block of training successful? Write it down so you don't make that mistake again. And then if you do make a mistake, don't beat up on yourself. We do that and then just get back on track versus, the end of the world. So, Coach Kyle, where are you from, Coach? And then what do you have for us?
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm from Minnesota. So I think my thing that I want to talk about is consistency. I know for myself and some of the athletes that I've coached, I'd say we've had the best results when you're being consistent. I know for myself, when I've had some time of being inconsistent, I've had my worst results kind of in a race. And like for me, I can look back in Training Peaks and see, okay, I can see why I got this result because like half of my workouts would be red. So I would really just kind of focus on being consistent as much as you can. Obviously, there's going to be a time where you're going to miss workouts. Things are going to come up, and that's fine. I mean, it's better to hit 90 to 95% of your workouts than only hit 50. So I would just say the biggest takeaway for me is just being consistent throughout the year and then just doing really the best you can. So.
Awesome. Perfect. Guys, and if you look at your back week and you see that not everything is not green, you have to ask yourself why. Was there a really good reason for it not to be green? Or do you need to communicate with your coach that you realistically cannot do these sessions, number one, or number two, the sessions placed are on the wrong day. Okay, we talked about training being this massive jigsaw puzzle of like moving things around to fit to where you can really optimize the key sessions, but also make sure you can be consistent and get everything in. And it may be a small restructuring of the way we do things. So definitely after each week, we're striving for all green. Of course, if something comes up, no problem, we move on. But if it's consistently, you're not getting it done, we need to pare back the training or change up the training completely for you to get it done. That is so much more important than key workouts. Just plain consistency, even if it's just like all aerobic training, you're actually going to be better at the end of the day. Okay, who am I missing here? Coach Julz, I know is on here somewhere.
Yeah, so my biggest takeaway from the season as both a coach and an athlete is being more aware of what is going on in your life around a race that you might want to sign up for. So for me, for example, I'm in Arizona. I was moving to Austin, going to be able to train with the team, and it was a team race. So it seemed really pretty on paper, but I didn't take into consideration the impact that graduating college, move half the way across the country, and all of that would have on me. So when you're looking at a race to sign up for, really take into consideration of what's going on in your life. Do you have a wedding the weekend of your big build? Are you traveling a lot for work? And being more dialed in on what's going around in your life to make sure that you're able to stay consistent, like Kyle was talking about, to have a successful build. So that's something I saw a lot in my athletes and I saw in myself. So just going into the 2023 season, being more aware of what's going on in your life when you want to sign up for a race so that you can have a really consistent and solid build.
Perfect. Coach Nick, I know you're on here. Is Coach Nick here or did I not see him? Are there any other coaches on here that I'm missing? Okay. Nope. Okay. We will move forwards. I think I did see him. He might have had to run. Guys, moving forwards, we're going to go ahead to announce our new coach that is just joining the team. She came to us. She's coached by Coach Harold, and Coach Harold identified her as someone who would be an amazing addition to our team. We started talking, honestly, quite a few months ago, back and forth on kind of what this would look like for her. And it's kind of the right time now as we are getting busy for 2023. There's a lot of interest off the end of season races to bring her on and prepare her for what's to come. And so she's in Austin, and I'm going to have her introduce herself and say a few words, but McKenzie Doss is our newest coach. Welcome, McKenzie.
Thank you, Natasha. Appreciate it. So I just got married a couple weeks ago, so I'm actually McKenzie Dudian. So if you see both names, that's okay. You'll see both names forever. So I'll probably always be McKenzie Doss to you all who I've trained with for the last year and a half. But I'm, as many of you all, triathlon has completely consumed my life, and I absolutely love it. And so I'm absolutely honored to be a part of this coaching team and be able to train with everybody here in Austin, and really excited about the future for NVDM and being able to get some athletes and start getting coached up. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you, McKenzie Dudian. I appreciate it. You guys, McKenzie also, she was 4th overall at Waco 70.3. So she is a part of our elite team as well. So a solid athlete, and we're excited to have you join us. Quick thing before we talk about our elite team and also just goal of NVDM coaching, a takeaway, there's so many, but a takeaway from the season that I had is just paying attention to details. And we've talked about it before. There's one thing to execute on the workouts, but everything going around the workouts. But details specifically on sleep and nutrition kind of came up this year, big time for us. And those that really started thriving in their training, thriving in their races, really start to figure out how to dial that in. I'll probably add stress to that as well, and making sure to adjust training accordingly. And so with that, you have to be honest to your coaches, honest to yourself, and also be okay that you actually are all well equipped to make a decision that you didn't get enough sleep. Maybe you messed up on fueling the day before. It's stressful at work. You start the session, you warm up, and warm up is going pretty crappy. Your heart rate is higher. You don't feel great. Instead of pushing through, I would love to see more of you listen to your body, take ownership in how you feel, and just back it off for the day. And then in your notes say, you know what, I decided to just chill out today because I am totally stressed out. And that honestly will save us injury, burnout, fatigue longer than we should have had it. And you will then rally to come back and be good the next day. You are not losing fitness over one session that you should have done that maybe was like an FTP session and we're trying to increase your FTP. And instead you just decide to focus on building your aerobic base and say, I'm going to make it an endurance workout. And in that, I'm going to work on form. I'm going to work on holding my position on my bike. There's so many things you can work on to become better without going hard, and know that you're still achieving a lot of those results, the adaptations that you're looking to occur just by riding easy. That's the majority of what our training should be anyway. So take ownership, please, for 2023 on that. And we would always encourage that. I always tell a lot of the coaches, they ask me questions and I say, well, what would you tell your athlete? And a lot of the times they don't listen to themselves, like they need to hear it from someone else, but truly, you know the answer, just back off. Okay, we're gonna go. We had this call, we have the last kind of 5 minutes. We talked about goal of NVDM coaching, and I listed out 4 things that we look to achieve as a business. And so I'm going to read them out for you guys. And we're still there with one of them kind of a little more heightened. So number 1, we want to inspire and encourage and support life change through the sport of triathlon. I truly believe that we're not in it just to become better athletes, but we can absolutely change our life and the way we interact with others, the way we thrive with our family and at work. Because through this process of essentially, growth, an opportunity for growth. The last season of my career of racing as a pro, I wasn't trying to get on top of the podium. I was just trying to grow as an individual and look at what that crossover was being created through that process. So that is number 1 that I really want us to focus upon everything else. And then number 2, which has kind of been heightened, is foster community. Luckily, we have that here in Austin. We're building it in Dallas. We have it in Waco, but that's a big reason why we do the team races. That's the big reason why we do this, is people want to feel like they belong to something bigger, something more. And so, just going to say for everyone who don't live in this area, you guys are welcome to come visit us in Austin at any time. We have many of you that do, just to kind of get a feeling of what that that feels like to train in a squad environment and then take that home and try to recreate that feeling, with maybe a friend or just for yourself in training. But it's just super important, and that's what keeps us all glued together through this journey. Number 3, bring an elite training environment and training structure and support to all levels. I feel like there are, we just want to make sure that every single person here is getting the best support possible. We're not getting support down to just someone who wants to complete. No, we're going to try to cross off every single detail so that you show up on race day and you feel like every little bit is prepared more so than someone else, okay, that is going through this journey. So we are going to continue to learn and grow as coaches. We have a lot of things in place that we want to continue to elevate what we're doing and giving to you guys through this process. And so, just expect that and look for those changes. One thing I always talked about, our coaching style is it never stays the same. If we're learning something new, there's more things we can incorporate to do things better. Every season, I go back and look at the race build and I go, what did we do well? What can we do better? And we try to change that in the next build and then grow together through that. And then the last thing is just encourage all of us, what we're being a part of, encourage us to pass it on and help others. All of you guys are actually so well equipped to become coaches yourself through everything that you've learned. And there's so many opportunities to mentor through the group, some of the younger athletes, or just mentor a coworker that maybe needs some help getting an active lifestyle going. So we really, if you need any help on that, we want to support you in that. Okay. What we're trying to achieve by creating an elite team. We talked about it last year, but we do want to support the next generation of professional and top age group athletes that are inspiring others. I feel like everyone has it within themselves to have great results. And if we can support those that are kind of rising to the top through the sport, to where you guys all know, and this is kind of from the business side, as you get better, like sponsors come in and pick up athletes, and for the male side, there may be like an everyman jack coming in and, oh, you're winning your age group and we want you to get in our kit and race over here with us or some other teams. And so part of it from the business side of us creating this elite team is that we stay as a cohesive unit. We're all wearing the same kit. We're representing NVDM Coaching as a team and a family. And so part of me creating the elite team is making sure our top athletes are being supported by us and kept in our branding, along with the sponsors that we trust and want to support as well. So that's number 2. And then we wanted to create a reward within the team for all of you guys to work towards. I do feel the sport is incredible in that if you want to work hard and really commit yourself to the process of just growing over time, anyone can achieve great things, because this process rewards consistency and hard work, everything we've just talked about, no matter what your background is. And for me, when I was racing, I was always so excited about chasing, like trying to get my elite license, and that really kept me motivated. But what if we could support the athletes that are almost there, kind of as that extra little added support and boost to get to that final end point of being an elite member and picking up a big contract at the end of the day. We did have Simon, just so you guys know, Simon, she has been wearing our kit. I'm going to call you out, Simon. And he picked up this massive contract this year, which we're really excited for him that he was able to do so. And that's what we want to support. Obviously, we cannot support him at that level of what they offered him, but for our athletes to kind of work through the system and then get to be picked up with something like that is very exciting for us. So congrats, Simon. Did you want to say anything? I see you coming up, just thumbs up. Okay. Okay. What are the criteria to qualify for the elite team? With that being said, so we had to change it a little bit because there were some gaps in what we felt were the top performing age groupers. So here's the new criteria. When your age group in a 70.3 or an Ironman, or honestly, now we're getting all these other big races coming up, as long as there's a big support and number of people at a challenge or PTO, we would include that too, as long as the numbers are there. But a big race with a lot of people, if you're going to go in and you're going to win your age group, and there are at least 50 athletes in your age group, or you have a dominating performance where you're top 5 overall, that would qualify you for the elite team. Okay. Number 2 is if you had to come second, but you were also top 10 of your age group, but you were within 5% of the winner's time. So we actually changed that from 8% of the winner's time. That would qualify you for the team. And then if you participated in a bunch of local events where there were over 1,000 athletes competing and you had 3 overall wins, that would qualify you. If you did age group nationals, so this is for our sprint and Olympic distance athletes, you were top 3 in your age group at age group nationals and top 15 overall. Again, so you're kind of the top tier athlete, that would qualify you. And then the final one that we decided to add was, it was a discretionary choice from coaches that if an athlete has multiple standout performances and an athlete's goal is to become a professional triathlete, and we know they're right there, maybe they've just competed in a whole bunch of extremely competitive races, then that's something that we would talk about to include. And what qualifying for the elite team means is we have a number of sponsors that or I would say partners. They're companies that we believe in are the best, that we basically go in and support each other. And they are supporting these elite athletes, with gear, with codes that they can use to basically get kickback to support their careers. So do know if you are using any one of these athletes' codes, you are providing kickback to them, which then goes in turn in supporting their careers, which many of these guys are just kind of going all in to see, because why not? To see what they're made of, and life is short and they're young, so they can really go after it and try to become the best they can be. So does any coach want to add anything to that at 6:32? Does anyone have any questions on the elite team? Okay, if anyone does have any questions on the elite team, can you email me that as far as what that makes sense? Okay. Guys, as far as our sponsors right now, we're definitely getting some things lined up, but again, it's a group of brands we want to partner in because we believe in the brand. We really like the people. We want to support good people, and in turn, they are kindly supporting us as well. And so obviously we have BPN, we don't have the discount anymore, but if you use any of the elite team's unique links, it does go to supporting them. So we would encourage that, of course. Super Coffee has really come in. They created a discount code of NVDM Austin 20. We will send that out. Anytime you want to get Super Coffee, it's 20% off. But they are really behind what our mission is and just the community. And, their tagline is energy, right? And so we're as well. And so it seemed like an incredible partnership, and we're grateful for their support. They were with us today at the 5K. So Super Coffee, All American Roughneck. We have Bobby on the call. Bobby, am I going to put you on the spot and just say hi to everyone? So Bobby, I've been coaching for almost 2 years now. And All American Roughneck is an incredible clothing brand that has been kind enough to give us a discount, as well as it's clothing we all support and wear. But do you want to say hi and anything you want to say?
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Bobby. I'm located in Pittsburgh, owner of All American Roughneck and Axe and Sledge. So it's been super cool to support the team and all the athletes, being that I'm one of them as well. Just the community, it's everything we're about as a brand. So anytime we see you guys rocking our apparel, it's just that feel good moment for us, because this is what we always dreamed the brand would be. So super proud to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. Guys, and then we have Levelin. You guys know we really encourage sweat testing, and so we'll send out that discount. But Levelin is who does our sweat test in the lab, so you guys can really understand how much sodium you're losing and how much you need to replace, both from a hydration standpoint and a sodium loss standpoint. And you guys actually have all Harold to thank on that. My whole career I cramped, and then Harold had me turned on to Levelin, and then I did exactly, which seemed extreme, I did exactly what they told me to replace. And for the first time in my career, I did not cramp anymore, thanks to Harold. So that was a great connection. I really believe in them, and what we can, information that we get for them and how it can benefit you on race day. Inside Tracker, that's the blood work company where you basically, all of us should be doing blood work all the time to make sure that kind of everything is in balance, because it goes off in balance pretty quickly if we're not fueling enough, not sleeping enough. So we should actually be tracking that pretty regularly. And I can't, the biggest benefit for Inside Tracker is they are looking at the amounts based from an athlete standpoint. And so it comes back in a week, and then they give you recommendations of what supplements you need to take, what food you need to be eating. And they can also set it up to come to your house, which was a benefit. You have to be fasted, so you can literally have them come to your house, do it first thing in the morning, and then you can go about your day. But they're also going to be giving further recommendations. I know they're working on further recommendations of when you get your blood work, what are the distinct additions or training changes that need to be made, which I'm really excited about based on those results. Own Way does our kits. And so we'll be opening the store. And I think I said that we'll be opening the store this week for you to order. And then we're working on 1 or 2 others. And then we have a Bicycle World and Waco Running Company. The details for 2023 we will discuss next week. But they're out of Waco. They were at our Ironman Arizona, at PTO. They supported our camp and obviously have been a massive help to our athletes with obtaining gear that it's hard to find at this day and age. So like if you're looking for a disc wheel or a specific bike and brand and no one else is carrying it, Bicycle will figure out a way to get it for you. So that would be on the bicycle side, and then all the gear on that side. And we typically have discounts going all the year through. There's different discounts on different gear items. And then Waco Running Company would be shoes. Okay. Coach Mike, did you want to add anything?
No, I think you covered it all. So
okay. Any questions, Coach Harold? Good. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. Last thing, we'll have a call next week, and we'll have some topics coming up, and then I will be in South Africa from December 13th through January 10th. Nothing changes. We have put in place systems to where everything that I was doing, it's been taken upon the team, which has been incredibly helpful. All my athletes, obviously, I'm still checking emails daily, just would be time change difference, but Katie's going to be kind of emceeing the calls for us. Mike is your day-to-day on billing issues or anything company related. I would start with Mike as the go-to person to answer your questions. Julz has taken over athlete relations, and so she checks in with athletes once they join the team, make sure they have everything they need, make sure gets them whatever they don't, and then also our sponsor relationships. So making sure we're sticking to kind of what's agreed upon with our sponsors, making sure you guys are aware of all the discounts year round. And then of course, you guys, if you need anything strength wise, Harold is a message away. As you guys need to dial in things for the off season to be strong and healthy, specifically injury free for next year, don't hesitate to reach out to him. Okay. Did I miss anyone?
If you don't have our contact information, just know our emails are just our first name at NVDM Coaching. So you can reach any of the coaches by just using their first name and then at nvdmcoaching.com. So
awesome. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. We went over, but I think we got everything covered. You guys have a great evening and good week ahead. Bye.